what do you? How big is this game to get off on the right start for from the Club World Cup?
See if we can continue the way we play. If you're talking about us, we talked about, continuing playing up to a standard, our standard, their standard, player standards, the club standard. I think we met some of those benchmarks, but you also got to look at Austin. They've had a 2-week break. Sometimes there's a little bit of rust in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. If we can get off to a good start, maybe help slow them down. Look, they've had some positive results lately. They scored some early goals, were able to dictate some tempo. So on both sides of it, I think we need a good start.
What are you seeing from Alex this week?
Alex rolled in.
Yeah.
Super competent soccer player. Can play multiple positions. He's been good for the club.
What is it about his style that makes him so versatile? I mean, he seems to be, him and Christian, I guess, are both this way, but
they're both this way. Probably growing up in the backyard, playing with Cesars, everybody. I don't know, at SU with Pete Fewing, I mean, he played multiple positions on the wing, in midfield, up front, so he's always had that in him. But, it's plug and play a little bit. We'll see how he does. We've got ideas in case things aren't going well, but, he'll be fine.
Brian, how do you evaluate maybe some center backs or possibilities at the Tacoma Defiance level, and then trying to just makeshift, players into those positions whenever there's a need for it?
Well, we've done that with Stewie, kind of, but he's injured. So the other guys, there's different rules, different call-up rules. We elected not to do any of those can't on some of them, and we didn't want to on others.
When it comes to this Austin team under Nico Stewart, is there anything specific that you kind of see out of it that you're going to be waiting for here in this upcoming match?
I mean, he's got a good center forward. He's always done well. I enjoyed playing against him in Dallas. Possession-based guy, 4-3-3. Knows how to coach. He's a solid coach.
When it comes to Stewart, how is he?
He's
is
still
his
a ways
progress?
away.
Yeah,
He's still away.
Okay.
He's 3-4 weeks away.
Okay.
Brian, what do you need to see from your 6 and 8 defensively in this situation, given what's going on the back line? What do you need for them to do?
Well, same thing that they always do. If you're talking about Christian and Obed, they have to do both sides of the ball. Christian's a little bit steadier. Obed has freedom to go, but when does he go? How does he create overloads? He's got to pick and choose those times. And I don't even mind Christian in the right moments because Obed can certainly cover the ground. I mean, he can certainly do that as well. So.
Do you remind them
all the time.
this game about
all
the
time.
situation?
Yeah, all the time.
I guess I'd say is there extra emphasis in this game?
Yeah, we're going to play up to our potential.
So you're a few days out of it now, out of the Club World Cup. Any new insights or key takeaways that you're bringing back into MLS play?
Just the fact that the guys showed that they could compete with some of the best teams in the world, and we're just trying to keep the right mindset that, hey, if we play at this level, we can be competitive with PSG, who is arguably the best club team in the world right now. And if we play at that level, we should win some MLS games.
How are they feeling in their bodies? Are they pretty
Good.
banged up?
We gave them 2 days off earlier this week just to help them physically and mentally recover, because mental recovery is important as well.
What about with a player like Christian? He, 13 miles against PSG, and clocked heavy miles with the other ones too. What are you kind of doing, maybe long term, to kind of, make sure he's not overused?
Long term, the guys track minutes. Obviously, if I can get him a rest in certain games, yes, certainly we would do that. He'd be one of the candidates. But right now, it's MLS, and some parts of MLS are a slog. It's the summer, and you got to get through. You got to push through. He's mentally able to do that, but he's also a really good athlete. And he's been really durable. Other than his concussion, that he had a while back, he's been pretty durable physically.
He's on almost 2,000 minutes so far this year. Even for a durable player, he's tracking to set a pretty significant career high in terms of minutes. Is that something you have to watch?
European teams Griezmann played 5 game. There was a lot of guys, a lot of teams in Europe. They put forth extra effort because the Club World Cup was a big deal. Christian will get him rest when we can, but he's got to do it. He can't do it.
I wanted to ask about Steph. I think I asked this wrong yesterday, but I wanted to specifically, I know you guys gave up some goals and whatnot, but he looked really good in goal.
Sharp in
for what he
moments,
could. Yeah. So, how do you evaluate his performance?
Well, overall it was good. I mean, look, the goals that we took, this from the last game from my memory, deflection goal and a transition goal where the guy was literally 14 yards from goal, all alone at the back post. There's not much Steph can do there. So I think his performance throughout the 3 games were good, but certainly, he's got competition in Andrew. We were just watching that training session there. We let Steph take a little break, has body extra recovery, and Andrew and Jacob look good in there.
We talked a lot about Jesus Ferreira at the 9, but I wanted to know what is it that you like about him playing on the wing for you in your system?
Well, he's just a smart player, possession base. He can defend. Sure, we'd like a few more goals, but he's got a lot of assists. So I like smart soccer players. I like guys that are consistent.
What was the key in you getting, in both games, maybe all 3 games, getting sustained possession? I mean,
Bravery, courage, commitment to playing. We didn't want to just lump the ball down the field. We wanted to show that we could play with those teams.
was it something the way they used the space then? Once you got the ball, the way?
No, it's just the way we play. Our team is our team.
Yeah.
And I think that they showed that they, had the tactics, had the bravery. The technical piece was, again, the missing link, the difference maybe between the sides in the Club World Cup. But as far as ideas and execution and some of that sort of stuff, it's good.
How important is it for them, for their confidence to be able to know they can create those ideas?
Hopefully that
against the
follows
best?
through into league play.
How would you articulate Ryan Kent over the last 3 games? And of course he has some highs, he's had some lows. Just in general, how would you describe it?
Well, he started off like a house on fire, and then he's kind of slowed down. There was that little lull. We're trying to bring him back up. We're going to try and get him some minutes where he can regain some of that flair and stuff that he showed us in the beginning. But quality player, good in the locker room. He's going to help us.
Without giving us too much, obviously, and going back to some of the complications you've having a center back, how do you deny service in terms of, schematically? Is that just pressing higher? How do you keep services coming to the box?
We always like to press higher. Our mid-block starts 10 yards above the circle, press high and goal kicks. When we get pushed back, yes, fullbacks, wingers have to track back, defend, block crosses, and marking inside the box.
Reed is fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine. He's good. Good to go. Okay.
One more.
That's it.
I'm sorry. One more. It's Pride. It's Pride match in this one. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for the club?
Well, it's a big deal for the club, but maybe I can best answer it to myself. I mean, look, I've said this before. I believe this as a guy from the Seattle area, but the coach of the team as well. The club is a connection between the players and the fans. And I want to make sure that our fans feel safe, they feel included. I think that's just been part of it since 1974, handing out the carnations. We did plenty of, appearances back in the day to make that connection feel real. It was evident during the games in the Club World Cup. But we want everybody to enjoy a soccer match and feel safe and be able to come and enjoy the family and the atmosphere and all that. That's been part of what this club has been about for a long time.